Kathmandu Valley is surrounded by green, beautiful hills and is crowned by snow-capped Himalayas. Swayambhu Purana claims Kathmandu Valley was once a lake. Goddess Manjusri saw a lotus flower in the middle of the lake. To allow the lake to drain, Goddess Manjusri cleaved a hill at Chobar, later of which a gorge was formed. When all the lake waters drained, the valley became habitable. Kathmandu is the city where unique traditional artworks are created since ages. It is the place where divinity is still worshipped as a living soul. Each day begins with melodious ringing of bells and sacred chanting at every temples, monasteries and houses. From the morning, the craftsmen begin their traditional work, a work to create traditional art pieces that carry divine energy and knowledge. One of the crafts that is pure representation of divinity is Paubha. The name of which is derived from Sanskrit word Patravattarak, meaning depiction of god and goddess in a flat form. Running from centuries, Paubha is an art form which has become a source of inspiration for traditional art that has spread across Nepal and beyond. Process of making Paubha is a ritual in itself. A cloth is to be woven by a pure virgin, out of which a canvas is made. Now, the painter does not start painting immediately. However, he keeps himself in a strict discipline. He remains holy by keeping himself a brahmacharya, someone who eats only vegetarian food and remains sexually inactive. He has to devote himself to his crafts and skills and keeps himself in spiritual space. The painter cannot start painting on a random day. Instead, a ritual has to be conducted to determine an auspicious day to start the painting. It might take days, weeks, and even months. Finally, on the auspicious day, the painter begins his work by meditation. It directs his mind towards divine energy, the energy that will direct him to create divinity in an art form. Traditional Paubha is painted with 5 basic colors: red, blue, yellow, and white. All the colors of Paubha paintings are prepared from minerals and plant materials. These minerals are minced into fine powder, and the process requires lots of manual work while grinding mortar and pestle. Application of the color on each deity has to be according to the principle of Holy Shastra. Process of Paubha painting begins with elaborate ceremony known as Hasta Puja. In this ritual, a Vajracharya priest and the painter worship divinity to transform the divine energy into colors and sketches. Not all painters are skilled enough to paint a Paubha art. A painter must have a sound knowledge of iconographic and iconometric principles. During the puja, the priest enchants the holy scripture written by yogis who have achieved enlightenment from years of meditation. The painter shall properly understand the abstract details of form, feel, and energy explained in the scripture so as to transform divine energy from his artwork. After the initial coat of color is applied, painter gives fine lines to create a perfect shape to a deity. Then he starts shading and gradation.
पणे वर्धितं विश्वमाता विद्युत ब्रह्मा हृदये वर्धितं ज्ञानगया हृदयं नमस्ते मनसा भवसा गिरा के मनोन्यास मनम मनगास मन्त्र भवनगास मनम देवी राजविगास देवीनं
This process of painting may take 10 to 20 years to finish. Painters also apply gold and silver to the paintings as an act of contemplation of the deity. Importantly, the painter keeps the eyes of the deity look open. It is believed that with the opened eye, the power of deity resides in the painting. This final touch signifies that the painting is complete. And now, the painting is ready not to be opened in the presence of strangers, but is ready to be worshipped by its rightful owners.
Paubha is a physical representation of the philosophies of Hinduism and Buddhism, which are not easily perceivable. As these philosophies are in abstract form, we use symbols to explain feelings like love, care, and religious philosophies.
Paubha paintings are basically a physical representation of Holy Scripture that is written in Sanskrit.
This is the painting of Padmapani Lokeshwar. According to the Holy Scripture, he holds a lotus in his left hand while his right hand is in supreme generosity. Padmapani wears an antelope skin over his left shoulder and an ornament typical of Bodhisattva. This signifies enlightened experience. His hairs are symbolic of Padmapani's endless quest to achieve enlightenment for many eons to come.
Paubha completely relies on the bylaws of Dharma Darshan. Artist has to strictly follow the rules of iconography, so the artist doesn't have a pure freedom over art. However, he can explore his creativity staying within the laws of Dharma Darshan. So this is a visual representation of religious philosophy.
The earliest evidence of painted work dates back to 11th century as a cover of manuscript Astasahasrika. Hand-printed images of Nag, rendered in 5 crude primary colors, is evident that Nag used to be worshipped even during the reign of Sankaradev in 1065 to 1082 AD. Today, the similar images of Nag are printed and sold annually during Nag Panchami in July and August, to which millions of devotees worship. Although Chinese sources testify that people of Nepal used to delight in painting the walls of their houses during 4000 to 850 AD, the earliest surviving painting dates back only to the 11th century. Paubha, essentially painted in clothes, remained at the center of Newari art tradition. For centuries, artists displayed unrivaled levels of imaginative technical skills and ability needed to enrich this genre. The earliest known paintings of 11th century to mid-40s of 20th century have also been attributed to Chitrakars.
Basically, in composition, the main deity is placed at the center, and the other deities are placed in other positions, above, below, right and left. The positions Ayudh, Varna, Ashan, Mudra, Bahan, they all have a different symbolic meanings. For example, Manusri is a god of knowledge, and in this painting, she is carrying a Chandrahas Khadga, posing not to kill the demons. The painting is a symbolic representation of her slitting through darkness to ignorance and spreading the light of knowledge. Paubha has been influenced by various art forms. In 16th to 17th century, Paubha was also inspired by Mughal art forms, and we can also see the Tibetan and Chinese influence. In this period of globalization, we can also see global influence in Paubha. My work has been influenced by late Anandamuni Shakya because he has explored Paubha in a new art form. I am trying to experiment using oil medium and trying to represent iconography with a realistic approach, making effect of three-dimensional form and using Newars jewelries into an art form. My paints always show motion.
In mid-century, the Newars school of art was on a peak. I think we need to learn and research more about it. It has best examples of Paubha paintings, so I have been trying to follow the art method of that period. Paubha is a gift from our ancestors, so I think we should learn in depth about the ancient practice. Hence, I'm still using minerals to make colors and following the rules that were used during that period.
Lok Chitrakar has also founded Simrik Atelier, a traditional art school in Patan. Its primary objective is to enhance the skills of young artists of Nepal and help them become masters of traditional art. Paubha is an intensive and complex art form that requires years of dedication and study because the students need to master in history, ancient text, art technique, iconography, and philosophies of Buddhism and Hinduism. The exact origin of the Paubha art has not been discovered. However, it is one of the oldest art forms in South Asia. In Nepal, it is not just an art, it is the history of Nepalese art. We salute those artists who are still painting the art and keeping it alive and wonderful.